Živjo everyone! Welcome back to another episode of the Achilles Twins Travel Show. You are listening to the local series where we talk about the country and its culture with locals. This episode is about Slovenia. Despite the small size of the country, it has plenty to offer in nature, culture, cuisine, and much more. And if you want to get real cave-in experience, Slovenia might just be the best place to do it because there are more than 10,000 caves to explore. The most famous cave is known as Postojna Cave, which is a home to olms or baby dragons. Our guest is Manca. She's from Slovenia and she was the right person to talk about the country because she knows a lot about Slovenia and she calls herself the biggest lover of lakes. And she even wrote a book which is called The Slovenia Lakes. It's been a pleasure to talk with her. So without further ado, please enjoy our conversation with Manca. Hello Manca, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. Hello. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and we're so excited to talk about Slovenia with you because you know a lot about this beautiful country. And we've read that Slovenia is like one of the greenest countries in Europe.
Yes, it is. Have you been to Slovenia?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay, you have to come.
Sure. Okay, can you please talk a little bit about yourself?
Yes, thank you for the question. Well, I'm Anca. I come from Slovenia. I always start by saying I'm an entrepreneur. I am a LinkedIn professional. I train companies how to use LinkedIn for marketing, branding, sales, HR, and so on. Apart from that, I'm the biggest lover of lakes, especially in Slovenia because I'm from here. I have this project which is really quite a personal project for me. It's called Moja jezera, which means my lakes in English. The story goes simple. I cycle to all of Slovenian lakes, or I walk on foot where I cannot reach by bike. And it has been a project that has been live for 4.5 years. And I have become a really big ambassador of Slovenia through lakes, of course, because I've visited so many places in Slovenia. I would never, if there would be no project. So these two, LinkedIn and lakes, are something that is really important in my life. And of course, sports. I like to play tennis. I like to jog and so on. So sport is another thing in my life. So, and yes, apart from my personality, I like to kind of develop myself. I have always been with this aim to be better at what I'm doing or as a person, at my skills, different skills and so on. So I could describe me that way.
Wow, cool. And how long did it take you to see all of those lakes?
At my website, you find 1,384 lakes. And 5 are still waiting for me because I was the last weekend I had birthday on Monday, and I was for 3 days I was in Bohin, and I found 5 new lakes, 5 new waterfalls. So this is another form of water I have found and I have loved for a few years now. So it took me, let's say 5 years to see all of that, and a lot of, not all together, of course, but a lot of time I am investing in that project because you have a podcast. You know how much time you need to invest, not just for talking to guests like me, but it's planning, it's afterwards editing and posting, research and so on. So it's pretty much similar to my lakes. So visiting the lakes is only a part of everything. So I invest a lot of times in planning my tours, which can be really hard these days because I have seen so many lakes already. And these Triglav lakes that I'm going tomorrow are just a few lakes I have never seen before. But yes, it's planning is quite a biggie in this project.
Yeah.
But I kind of believe that for this kind of project or passions you have, you need to invest certain amount of time, a lot of energy, a lot of sleepless nights and so on. But I found a mission with that. So It's really lovely to see the feedback from people, because I find really hidden gems. I found a lot of hidden gems. You probably know Bled Lake. This is really iconic.
Yeah, one of the famous.
One of the famous sites in Slovenia. This is just one of 1,400, right? And it's really beautiful. Bled is amazing. Bled is really like from a fairy tale, but it's crowded. It's too popular for me. So I really prefer hidden gems and exploring nature, exploring new kind of places in Slovenia that a few people know about.
Yeah, I understand what you mean. And at the end of the day, it worth it, all this effort, because in your case, I've seen some pictures of lakes. They're so beautiful.
Yeah.
And I think people can see that even in your book. You have a book, right,
Yeah,
about lakes?
yeah, I wrote a book last year, yeah. You know, it's not just year over year, I realize it's not just about the lakes, right? It's about exploring, it's about exploring myself, it's exploring why do I do that, why do I have the need to do that. So it's really, I've been, for the first year in 2017, when I launched my project, I was in every media possible in Slovenia, on television, on radio. Everybody kind of found me and invited me. So this was really, it was all native, right? I didn't ask for any media interview or anything like that, but I feel they just knew that I do this because I really love to do that, right? It's not monetized. This project is not for me to make money, but it's just to create. It's just a creative part of myself that needed to have something in order to do that. And it's really, I met a lot of people because of my lakes. I published a book because of my lakes. And it's really, I have been dreaming about being an author for almost 30 years. I talk about that in a book as well. And if there was no lakes, I wouldn't have any topic to write about. So yeah, it has been really rewarding in so many dimensions. So I don't want to stop doing that.
Wow, cool. Yeah, maybe someday you should visit Tajikistan, because we have so many lakes too. Yeah,
Oh my God.
so beautiful.
Yeah. Tajikistan. Well, now you are on my to-go list.
But this year it is already late. You better come next year, maybe in June,
Okay.
July,
Summertime,
August.
yeah.
In summer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Someday I will
Okay,
come.
so
Yeah.
let's talk about Slovenia. So,
Yeah, let's do that.
so how people greet each other there?
What do you say?
What do you say?
We have a few phrases. The first is I like to say Živjo.
Julio.
It's a letter you don't know. It's Ž. Živjo, yes. Or we say oi.
Uh-huh.
Or we say hey. We use the Italian ciao as well.
Okay.
We say dober dan, which is kind of good afternoon.
Wow.
So we have. How do you say that in your country?
In Tajik, we say salam, so
Salam.
it's for any time.
Salam. Salam.
Yeah, salam.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
For any times.
Yeah.
That is simplified. Salam.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Of course, we have good morning, good afternoon, but we use just
Yeah.
salam. It's easier.
Salam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yours sounds so fun.
Živjo. Yeah.
Julio, yeah.
Oi.
Živjo, yeah. Oi. Yeah. Oi.
And we read that there are 46 dialects in Slovenia, right? But only
What?
2.3 million
46?
people dialects.
Yeah. Oh, dialects. Yes, we are
Yeah.
very good at that. Yeah. About 1 million people, but almost every, I won't say city, almost every village has its own dialect. I live in Ljubljana. I moved here about 8 years ago, but I'm from Kočevje,
Okay.
which is 60 kilometers to the south. And another a little city, let's say little city, is Ribnica, which I had a boyfriend a few years ago, and I was living there, and it's 18 kilometers, and the dialect is completely different. And its tone of voice, it's really, it's amazing. It's amazing how many varieties are from language that speaks only 2 million people. So yeah, this is
Yeah.
great
And you
notice. This is really something special about Slovenia. Yeah,
and you
yeah.
don't understand each other? I mean, if you go to another city?
No, if you go to Prekmurje, which is northwest, no, northeast Slovenia,
Mm-hmm.
I had a few colleagues there back in student times, and we were. I remember one day we were walking on the streets. I didn't understand them one word because it's
Wow.
a lot of Hungarian words
Mm-hmm.
in there because they are neighbors, right? And I just didn't understand anything because it's not just the way they say it; it's a completely different word, and you don't
Wow.
understand it. It's like another language, really. But that is a special case, right? Otherwise, we understand each other. But it's really a skill to speak those dialects.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And do people speak English?
yeah. Almost everybody, I think.
Okay. And what about Russian?
Do we speak Russian?
Yeah.
No. It's not. It's not the language we use here. We use English because we are such a small country that we need to learn these languages. Otherwise,
Mm-hmm.
tourism would die here, right?
Yeah.
German is the second language we use. I was learning German in primary school. I don't speak German, but
Mm-hmm.
this is the second language. Russian, no.
Okay. Yeah, because some words are quite similar. Similar, but they have another meaning. Maybe they have different meaning, but sound similar. Like,
Yeah.
how do you say thank you?
Hvala.
Hvala.
Hvala. Yeah, in Russian, hvala means like, uh, oh, it's hard to explain, but
Yeah.
something related
Okay.
to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's Romanic language or something like that, right? So the origin of the language is, I believe, the same. There are a lot of similarities to Czech language
Okay.
from Czech Republic.
Mm-hmm. And what do you think might surprise foreigners apart from beautiful lakes and the nature? Anything else?
In Slovenia,
Yeah.
the feedback from those who come to Slovenia is positive all the time because Slovenia is still not so popular as a destination to go to, right? But they're really, all of them, they are surprised by variety. We have almost everything. We have the seaside as well. It's really short, but still there is a seaside. We have mountains. You can ski, you can do adrenaline sports. We can basically do almost anything in Slovenia. Of course, the scale is small because we are such a small country, but still the variety of sites, natural and cultural sites here is amazing. And since we are so small, you can go hiking to Triglav to the seaside in a day, right? Because everything is so small. 2 hours, maximum 2 hours and a half, and you cross the country, right?
Yeah.
So this is something that surprises visitors because they are not aware of how beautiful, really, how not just lakes, of course, but everything you see here is really Ljubljana, for example, as a capital. It's so lovely. It's so lovely. I've been living here for 8 years, and it's really small, lovely, vibrant, lively, really beautiful. So everything here is beautiful. So you need to come here. Yeah, that really surprises people because perhaps we have Bled. Yes, we have one. And we have Ljubljana, and we have the Postojna cave. Probably you have read about that cave, and Piran. These are some of the sites. Piran is at the seaside. These are some sites that are kind of visible before you come to Slovenia. But when you come here, you realize how much more do we offer for the nature or for the cultural sites and so on.
Mm-hmm. And when you were traveling in Slovenia, have you seen the baby dragon? I mean, all.
If in the cave, I've been to that cave many years ago. I believe in primary school. So probably I saw it there. But yeah, I think you are talking about that campaign that was a few years ago that were Postojna Cave were talking about reborning these new baby dragons. It was really great. I've been really following that as well, but in the latest period of time, no, I haven't seen, because, you know, you are probably similar. When we live in one country, like me in Slovenia, we don't like to go to that popular and so touristic sites, like
I think it's
perhaps
everywhere.
Postojna Cave, right? When you go there, big lines of people waiting to come there and so on. It's like it's something you don't do as a person who lives here, right?
It's for tourists.
Different when you go. Yeah, it's for tourists, right? So although it's really beautiful, perhaps I should go. Yeah, I would find at least one lake there, so this is kind of condition almost for me to go anywhere. And so but it was really something special, and I believe it caught attention from the biggest media in the world.
Right. Just for our listeners, maybe they have never heard about baby dragon. Can you explain what is that?
Oh, there is a baby. There's a little animal. How can I explain that? It's not a dragon, okay? It's not a dragon.
But it looks like, right?
Proteus,
like
I believe
dragon,
it's Proteus.
Right?
Yeah, but it's like I don't know. It's an animal that lives in a cave.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's a kind of with no color because it's dark there, right? It's kind of transparent. And baby dragon, these are these babies of this animal. But I believe Proteus is a Latin word for that. But let me just try to translate it right now. Translation is human fish. We call it človeška ribica in Slovenian. So
wow.
I believe. Yeah, try to say that.
The word olm, O-L-M, it's not a local name?
Olma? Oh, no. We call it človeška ribica, but I will just try. Proteus. Proteus is the Latin word. So for all of the listeners, if you Google that, you will find it. But baby dragons, yes, it sounds really nice because you but it's not a dragon. Okay, we don't have any dragons, although we have a lot of legends about dragons in Slovenia. But yes, it's a little animal living in a cave, and it's really special for the Postojna Cave we are talking about, which is one of the biggest, most popular sites in Slovenia, right?
Yeah. And it seems like honey is a big deal in Slovenia as well, because it says like there 1 out of 200 people, they are beekeepers, like 90,000 beekeepers in Slovenia.
Yeah, it is. And Slovenia was the country who got the initiative for the World Bee Day, something like that. It takes that is on 20th of May, which is the birthday of, I won't remember the name, but the most important beekeeper in Slovenia, and he was a starter of the beekeeping in Slovenia or in the world. I won't say that, but yeah, it's really something we. Again, there are a lot of beekeepers, a lot of places in Slovenia you can find it, and I love it as well. So yeah, this is something that is really, very Slovenian, I would say. And one of the aspects of culture, like you were asking me, is these handicrafts, which I really admire, all of people who are still doing that. And beekeeping is really something like that is not so connected to technology like we are used to right now. So yeah, this is something we should really appreciate and cherish and keep on doing. So yeah, honey is a big thing. Do you have honey in your country?
Yeah, we have, but not that much, I think, like in Slovenia.
Yeah, this is quite Slovenian.
If you could choose 3 aspects of your culture to put in a time box for the future, what would you put in it?
Yeah, this is a very great question that took me a little exploring, to be honest, beforehand today. Perhaps it's not Slovenia, well, at least in my perception, I admire it mostly for the nature, right? Not so much for the culture. But I selected 3. The first is, like I was saying before, the crafts, like beekeeping and other stuff, because there are quite a lot of different handicrafts in Slovenia, and I think that is something, those skills and that knowledge of the old people especially, is something that we need to keep on, right? This is something.
Yeah.
And the second thing is our language. And like you were talking about before, or the dialect. The language, I believe, is something that is really special for any country. And since we are so small, 2 million people only, right? This is something that we need to keep on, again, cherishing, using, and so on. It's such a professionals like mine, for example. I talk a lot of times in English. I write in English a lot of times. So it can be really dangerous for the Slovenian language to just vanish I won't say in a few years, but in a few decades perhaps. So this is something that we need to cherish and keep and be proud of it. Although sometimes it's hard because it's so impossible. It's quite hard to learn because it's so many specialties that we Slovenians a lot of times are not sure how to say something. So it's really something we need to cherish. And the third part, I would select the castles. Like I'm sure you have heard about Predjama Castle, which is quite in the vicinity of Postojna, and it's we have a lot of castles, a few hundred, I would say, and a lot of them are not managed. They are just ruins and so on. And every time I see that, when I'm exploring lakes, I see a lot of castles as well, of course, because I'm riding on the roads, and I see them, and it's a big shame for me. Why there must be resources, there must be some group of people who would take that castle and put the content in there, organize events and so on. So that is something that's really culture for me, and I appreciate it a lot. So this language, crafts and castles are my picks.
Great. And what do you think, what are the misconceptions people have about Slovenia?
Well, the first is fun fact. Well, it's not that fun anymore. A lot of times we get mixed with Slovakia, right? Because the name is so similar. Yeah.
That what happened with Hassan.
That is
Sorry.
That's quite big. Yeah. This is quite bad. But I believe that sportsmen, for example, you must know Luka Doncic, right? The basketball guy. You must know Pogacar, right? The cyclist. These are people who are, or what is Janja Garambrit, who is the climber who got the golden medal in Olympics this year. Okay, the Pogacar won the Tour de France and so on. These are people who are basically a big ambassadors of Slovenia, and I believe are really changing the perception that we actually exist, right? Because we are so small. If you look at the map of Europe or the world, we are so small that you can easily just do not see us, right? So the name is too similar to Slovakia. So this is one misconception. And I would say another thing is that since from the tourist point of view, since we're not so popular yet, perhaps people could say or think that we don't have anything to offer.
Right?
We
have honey.
So,
and
usually when you see...
and baby dragons.
Honey, honey and mountains and lakes and so on. A lot of things, right? If you want to visit to see the biggest ice in Slovenia, you can easily be here 1 month, and would be it would not be enough. I'm exploring for almost 5 years, and I have not seen everything, of course.
And you live there.
So this is, I live there. So it's in the palm of my hand, but it's still so much to explore. So this is something I would say it's probably the same for me for any other country that I don't know that much, right? You just say, oh, what is that country? What can I do there? What can I see there, right? But when you start exploring, and when you start exploring on Google, YouTube, Instagram, and so on, you can see how many sites do we have, and that we're not Slovakia, and that we are big enough to be a great destination. By the way, a few days ago, yesterday or 2 days ago, Lonely Planet put Slovenia in the one of the 10 destinations to explore in next year in 2022. So the national board is doing quite of great campaigns. So this perception is really changing. So Slovenia is becoming a country that is on the map, on the bucket list. It's not just who, what, where, right? So these are some misconceptions. I would say we're not Slovakia, and we have a lot of things to see here. And yes, we're not Balkan country, and all people here speak English, almost everybody. So it's easier to come here and to communicate around here.
The same is with Tajikistan. When we say Tajikistan, people like, what? Where?
Yeah, it's like
most of the time.
I'm thinking while I'm talking to about Slovenia, Tajikistan, I have no idea what to see there. I don't know Tajikistan as a country, as a destination to go. But we need. I won't say what should I visit there, what can I see there. You need to start researching and you find it. But yeah, I have no association whatsoever with Tajikistan, which is not okay. So this is my homework after this podcast to start researching about lakes there and castles and so on and waterfalls.
Check out the 7 lakes. I think you will like that place if you ever come to visit. Yeah, and we have an episode about Tajikistan, 2 episodes. Yeah, with a local guy. So you can check it later.
Lakes Tajikistan. 7 lakes in Tajikistan. Okay. Yeah. I will do that. Oh my God. Yeah.
Yes.
But oh my God. It looks amazing. Yeah, but I really like that kind of stuff that is really hidden. It's hidden game. I like this. I like this. Yeah. Amazing. Now you are on the bucket list. Yes, you are. Great.
Good. About the capital, I wanted to ask about the right pronunciation of it. Ljubljana, right?
Yeah, great. Ljubljana, yes.
Ljubljana. Yeah, because when you see the writing letters, it's
a
little bit confusing. It's confusing, yeah. You don't know how to read that.
Yes, it's Ljubljana. Yes, it's Slovenian language is quite hard. Yeah, it's quite difficult to express because we have so many ch, for example. These are letters that are, I won't say unique to Slovenian, but not a lot of languages uses that letter, so it's kind of confusing. Yeah, Ljubljana. So you said it correctly. Yes.
One more question about the food.
Oh, yeah.
We read that the main traditional dish in Slovenia is cake, potica, right? Is it correct?
Potica, yes, it is correct. Potica. It's it's not a cake. It's not this birthday party cake, okay? But it's a sweet. Yeah, it's a sweet. Usually, it's made with walnut. Yeah. It's very Slovenian. This is, I believe, the most Slovenian thing. Yeah, really. It's great. I love it. And the tradition is to bake it for the Christmas, for New Year's. Just let me, how do you say it? I forgot it right now, even in Slovene. Because I'm thinking in English and I cannot switch to Slovene. Easter, thank you. Easter. Okay. So yeah, for this kind of Easter, Christmas, and so on, we bake potica. We eat potica with walnut.
Oh, okay. And you have another interesting tradition, which is like Halloween, but you celebrate it in February. I'm not sure if I'm saying it correctly.
Yeah, it's
Karentovanje.
Pustovanje.
Wow.
Pustovanje.
So different.
Yeah. Okay. It's a few days before the spring, and it's really something Slovenian. Yes, it's a kind of tradition to, especially in the oldest town in Slovenia, which is Ptuj, Petovia, Korentovanje. It says.
Okay. Korentovanje. Okay.
Ptuj, Korentovanje. Yes, this is for the Ptuj, but in general, it's Pust, right? It's really kind of getting in the mask. It's like a carnival. But yeah, I believe 40 days before the Easter, something like that. It's basically for the for Korentovanje. Their kind of mission is to call spring. Okay, it's the end of the winter, and let's call spring now. So yeah, this is another thing that, and yeah. But it's not just for the Ptuj, it's in general in Slovenia, and we put on masks different and so on. Yeah.
Okay, I see.
It's not it's a Slovenian Halloween, but this kind of holidays like Halloween or Valentine's Day, there are in Slovenia as well, but it's from America, so I kind of don't like I don't celebrate Halloween because this weekend, right?
Yeah.
On Saturday, I believe. Yeah. We kind of do celebrate it, the younger generations, I would say, but for us that are not so millennials and so on, it's not so native because it's not Slovenian.
Yeah.
It kind of came from America.
Yeah. We better go and see some lakes and yeah, enjoy the nature.
Yeah. Yeah. No, on Saturday I go visit my friend in her new flat here in Ljubljana. But yes, it's a kind of, she said, kind of Halloween party. So yeah, but I'm not.
Okay.
I don't
No
perceive it
costumes.
like that. No costumes. No. No.
All right. And
Yeah. No costumes. No witches.
I think you are the right person to ask this question. What is the best time to visit Slovenia?
Yeah, it depends on what you want to do. If you want to ski, the winter will be the right time. But if you want to see all the natural sites or the cultural sites, of course, it's the season from April to October, I would say. But the autumn, like this month, right? Is great to enjoy the autumn leaves or the colors. If you are a photographer, for example, if you want to do the magic photos here in Slovenia, the October or November can be the right time. These
Yeah.
Triglav lakes, I'm go visit tomorrow. This is the best time to go there, right? But otherwise, if you want to go to the seaside, of course, the summertime will be the best. July and August, where the highest season here in Slovenia is. But yes, May can be great because it's not too hot, or April as well. So yeah,
Okay.
this I would say just typical spring, summer, autumn times.
Mm.
But winters are not so hard as they used to be, so it's not that cold anymore. But when I was young, or let's say 20 years ago, it was quite cold, minus 20, minus, even
Wow.
minus 30 sometimes. So yeah, there is not the time you would want to visit Slovenia.
hmm
But yes, in the latest years, of course, it's not so cold. But we have snow, so if you want to ski, of
hmm
course, December, January, or even February will be the right time.
Yeah. And I read that the ski resorts, they are quite affordable, much cheaper than other European countries.
Yeah, yes, that is correct. The resorts are much smaller. The
Okay.
ski sites here are not so big because everything in Slovenia is smaller because we are a small country, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, ski resorts are quite smaller than if you go to Austria or Italia or France. You know, they
hmm
have so much bigger resorts, and of course they are more expensive. But here, yes, everything is much smaller when it comes to ski
Yeah.
resorts. So yeah, it can be that expensive as Italian, for exple.
I
I would
see.
say that is my perception, but I'm not a skier. I skied 10 years ago for the last time, so yeah.
Yeah.
But it's affordable, and a lot of, yeah, in general, a lot of people say that in Slovenia, the prices are affordable for the food, for the drinks, for the hotels and so on. We're not that, yeah,
I see.
still
I see.
not that expensive.
Okay, cool. Do you have anything else to share before we wrap up, before we come to the close?
Oh, yes, since I'm doing my legs, I would say that for all the listeners, I strongly suggest wherever you go, or you go to Slovenia or to Tajikistan or wherever, try to find some places that are not so touristic, and or if you come to Slovenia to visit lakes, try to take time there and try
hmm
to kind of understand them outside being just a form of water, right? But yes, I would say, appreciate everything. Don't be a jerk and throw away waste on the streets and so on. So something like that. So I would suggest, especially for the nature, right? We need to be really good to her, right?
Yeah.
We need to cherish it, and wherever you go, just don't leave anything but footsteps, like they say, and take away, how do they say, just memories and photos and something like that. So this is something, when you go anywhere, just be pleasant to the nature, have respect to the people, have respect to the culture, lakes, every flower, let's say, so, and so we keep our planet lively.
Wow. Yeah, that's a great advice. Think about the future
Yeah.
generation. They want to see that too. I mean, it would be good if they have a chance to see that beauty.
Yeah, yes, yes, and we need to preserve. And for example, these lakes I'm going tomorrow,
Hmm.
it's prohibited to swim there, right? And I really respect that. I really motivate that for perhaps other lakes and so on to look. It's not, you have the sea or you have the Bled Lake. You can swim there. You have Bohin Lake to swim there, which is quite big one as well in
Hmm.
Slovenia. So these some lakes should be just for admiring, right?
Okay.
Just go there, see it, and experience it, and go away, right? Don't go in there, because it can be really stressful for the nature, and
Yeah.
we need to respect that. Yes.
Hmm. Yeah, I see. Mantha, thank you so much for taking the time. We know you are so busy, you have so many projects, but still, yeah,
Yeah,
thank you very
thank you very
much.
much. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, now Slovenia is on my list now. Yeah.
Yes, it should be. Yeah, yeah, it should be. It's a really
Yes.
hidden European game, and I hope to for her to stay that way, because we are too small to have mass tourism here. It's impossible because we're not
Mm,
a
yeah.
big country, right? So this boutique kind of experiences we need to sell.
Yeah, right. Thanks a lot and have a nice trip tomorrow.
Thank you, thank you. Cross your fingers, so I won't. So I will come back because it's really a
Yeah.
long tour, and I'm going with two experienced mountaineers. So yeah, I need to be in full form tomorrow. Thank you.
If you enjoyed this episode, you might enjoy the episode about South Korea with our guest Yen Kim. Here's the preview trailer.
A lot of people are obsessed about beauty, and I think one part is because of like a lot of K culture, and it's very widespread. A lot of people in the world watch about it, and there are certain, because there are a lot of audience, people set like the beauty standards, especially in Korea,
Hmm.
having like double eyelids, big eyes, and then very
Yeah.
straight nose. And then yeah, I guess that's like a beauty standard, and a lot of Koreans want to fit in it. So a lot of students in middle school and high school, they get double eyelid surgery. And yeah, it's sort of like a culture, but not everyone does it. But that's a big, that's a big issue, and people can be very stressed about it sometimes.